Hello, I'm going to be recording a status update. First, I'm going to look at my previous status update and then to my status update from a year ago. So this is the most recent one, February 2024, I think. End of May, April. Sixth of April, end of May. Okay, so status update. I made a status update in January and I feel like it's time. Visa did his status update in March, but I feel like doing it now because I'm kind of anemically and stuff like that feeling better compared to February and March, I guess. Because in February and in March, at the beginning of the month, I wasn't really feeling I wasn't feeling that well. And when I'm not feeling when I'm feeling down and I'm feeling lost and stuff like that, it's like I don't even know what my status is to communicate it to others. So I don't feel like doing status updates. But right now I do. So going back to the one I did in January, in that one I talked about how January would be either more focused on web development work, also development relations, stuff like that, trying to go into that route with more focus, or applying to go to work for a YouTuber and building towards that. I'm doing some prep work towards that goal. And spoiler alert, January, February, March have not been nowhere close to focused in that direction, in any of those directions. So yeah, that didn't go as planned, but I will talk a little bit more about it later. I also talked about how I was worried about some family things, and the main thing that I was worried about happened, and it went well. So right now I'm not worried about that. I don't have it top of mind. It's still not solved, I guess, because it never is solved, but it is not right now something top of mind to be worried about. So it's certainly less of a stressing factor than it was back then. And that contributed a lot to the January, February not being as productive, as you could say, as I would have wanted them to be. So I'm not upset at myself about it, but I'm maybe a bit disappointed that more didn't happen. I'm a bit more disappointed in life or in the universe, but I'm not angry at myself at least. I also talked about how I was thinking about independence in that context as well, and it was on my mind a lot. Yeah, basically making me uneasy for the future and kind of not really wanting to plan anything or to commit to anything, I don't know, kind of like that, right? And yeah, on that front, I did ask, it was just a simple question while eating, but all of that family thing I had happened before that. So it's kind of all of that had to happen and all of that tension and stuff like that had to be at least somewhere to resolve until I felt like I could communicate that to ask what on paper to anyone which is basically asking, I just asked for how long we're in this house, renting this house, right? It's just a simple question, but for my mind to get to this place where I could ask the question while eating at lunchtime, it wasn't as simple as it may sound when explaining, I was worried about this, right? It's like, why are you worried about that? Why don't you just ask? Well, because stuff had to happen. And I guess that I did ask about it, and the answer to the question, which is that we are going to be in this house for 2 years at least, because that's what the renting, we have like 2 years remaining of rent. I'm not confident, but it's like I at least know that I can be 1 year in this house without having to worry a lot about rent or about doing some kind of rushing the job hunt, any kind of job hunt or any kind of income thing, right? So at least on that front, I can be more, I'm more chill. Then I also talked about community and how I felt that I lacked community for several parts of my projects of development a little bit, but less than other things, because in web development I'm already part of a community, and also even though I lack community, it also feels like I was pursuing more of my interests I was relaying my interests through web development more than finding meaning in community or something like that, compared to other projects like Coches Curiosos or travel, which involved more storytelling from others or stuff like that, or communicating and stuff like that, compared to the web development thing, because storytelling and communication are not my stronger points. So so I feel like being embedded in some community and stuff like that makes them arise quicker or something like that. So, and I also talk about how romantically there is nothing happening, and in that front everything is exactly the same. So well, there could be some, if you can call something self-work or talking it with someone, if that can be called advancement, then I would say that maybe there has been some advancement, because I do feel like in that sense I have opened up a little bit more with some people, and but there is still nothing happening romantically with me. So that is that. But I at least have voiced concerns and stuff like that and complained. So now, status update. Minute 6. What is happening right now? What is like top of mind in here? So, tying to the web development thing and stuff like that, ChatGPT is helping me build stuff and talk stuff out, not just coding related, but also like life oriented and stuff like that and mix. So it's a good crutch for the lack of community that I felt in web development. It is a nice enough crutch. So it's like the lack of community wasn't that high. If I feel like some chatbot helps, right? I was just missing some kind of rubber ducking. Maybe someone with whom I can build projects would be a better step over ChatGPT. But ChatGPT, for the kind of projects and the scope that I have right now, is a good enough companion, right? And I wanted to, let's see if I can pull this up. Here, and I'm going to do I can do this. So basically ChatGPT turned me from a 0x engineer to a 0.1x engineer. And I then asked to the audience the question of how do I become a 1x engineer, and then the 10xing will begin. But yeah, for the moment, let's focus on the 1x, right? And yeah, this made me think of 0 to 1, classic Peter Thiel book, and yeah. And as it says right here in the thing, it's like every new creation goes from 0 to 1. This book is about how to get there, right? What we already know how to do takes the world from 1 to n, right? Doing what we already know scales. Scaling is something I guess known, right? Going from 1 to n is just scaling, repeating models, stuff like that. Going from 0 to 1, building is the hard thing, right? So in my case, I'm not building anything innovative and anything like that, but it's still, I think that the gist of going from 0 to 1 is
I'm watching my old videos.
is something on my mind, and in my case, ChatGPT has helped me going from 0 to 0.1. So that is something that should be acknowledged, and that I want to relay here. It's like status update. I have gone from 0 to 0.1 in some places. But this is something big enough to be communicated because it is a big part of the process, going from 0 to 0.1, going from pure idea to something that you can see in the screen, right? And now the 0.1 to 1 is still a big step and still a major part of the going from 0 to 1, but it's still something that I want to communicate in this status update. And yeah, and this ChatGPT thing has gotten me properly interested in AI, right? I was already interested in AI and I knew stuff about neural networks and like that, but as it didn't touch me, I don't play chess, I don't play Go, I don't play Dota, I'm not involved in any of these things where AI has been super definitive, right? Or like I don't have a self-driving car. I'm interested in that, but it's still like too far away for me to really connect with it. But ChatGPT has been the thing that has brought AI to my forefront, and it has I have experienced going from 0 to 0.1 things to this thing, and I'm curious about it and I want to learn more. So I was already curious about AI. I knew I had this book, right? Neural networks from scratch in Python by Sentex, and I had it, but it was sitting on a shelf, catching dust until maybe now, right? So this is something that I want to maybe say that maybe in the next subject I will have read this or gone through some exercises or have a bit more knowledge about these things. Let's see what happens, because it probably won't happen, but maybe it will. So yeah, and then now tying back to what am I building, right? It's like what has ChatGPT helped me build, right? And let's go with yeah. So thanks to ChatGPT, this is a Figma website. No, I don't know how the fuck do I zoom in and out here. Okay, so yeah, this is a Figma site that ChatGPT has helped me build. It's still pretty cringe, and yeah, but it's from a domain I had. Yeah, I relayed all these worries to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT walked me through the design and stuff like that. They took me from 0 to 0.1, right, which is this Figma thing, and then some next project that kind of, next JS project that kind of had some functionality, but it wasn't working well, so it's still on standby. Plus, I want to add multi-language thing, and it also took me from 0.1 to yeah. It wasn't the multi-language thing that stopped me. It was how it was handling components and stuff like that, and how I wasn't satisfied with the way it was doing the components thing. Right? I wanted to change a lot of things, and yeah. So I didn't get, for example, these things to show up yet. I got these components to show up, but this search bar wasn't. Well, the search bar thing wasn't working yet. The tags thing wasn't working as well, and the tags thing was giving me a lot of trouble. Yeah, basically these kind of things. But yeah, and then I have also done another thing, which is my portfolio and stuff like that. But that also I'm reworking it because I'm going. Well, my portfolio is this one. I don't know. Well, I'm not going to show it here, but HTML5 multi-language by default instead of being text, but you can't see it. Yeah, you can see like a demo or something like that, and I would. Oh, yeah, and I'm also working a lot, which is nice, and I want to keep doing that. This is probably something that has helped as well as clearing worries and working. Has probably the combination.
What's up?
Helped me be an better.
What's up, Quadro? I'm going to record a status update.
And able to do this status update. Well, able, not able, like,
before I'm looking at the one what I was doing 1 year ago, and what I did last status update, which was a couple of months ago.
To do this status update. I've also been drinking this a lot. It's called Morir Soñando, Daydreaming. It's a Dominican recipe apparently, and yeah, it's, how do I say it? Yeah, it's orange juice, milk, condensed milk, and vanilla. And yeah, and it's really tasty, I like it, and refreshing. Nice. Very important to have the ice and the milk mixed so that they are cold, and then adding the orange juice cold so they don't curd. So that curds don't appear.
Doing okay-ish. How about you? How are you nowadays? Not really well, but yeah, not really well, but I don't know. Not as bad as I could be, I guess. Why are you okay-ish? I will talk a little. Basically, my whole video today is going to be about how am I. So yeah. That I wanted to say because I've been drinking it a lot and I like the taste and it's like refreshing. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to be somewhat cryptic in the video, maybe. So maybe I won't say as much information as is necessary for it to be understandable. But
It's like in the morning I go walking and I see the sun. Yeah, I walk while listening to a podcast and I get the brain going in the morning, and then I eat, and then after lunch I do some internet stuff probably, and then when I want to clear my brain from internet addiction, I go and make myself this Mauricio Soñando drink, which is nice. And maybe I even go outside again. Going outside 2 times a day, imagine. Yeah, so then after that, I wanted to talk also about my Geo challenge. I'm doing this GeoEssay challenge, and so far I think I didn't upload I didn't stream Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday morning, and today is Wednesday, right? Yeah, so Monday and Thursday I didn't stream either. I won't stream today probably as well, but I'm not quitting that. I want to keep pushing and stuff like that, and also want to develop my application and stuff like that. Yeah, so I enjoy it, even though it feels like a waste of time. So the problem is that it feels a lot like a waste of time. That is like the main problem. If I didn't feel like it was a waste of time, for example, if I got paid for it, I don't know, some kind of money, I guess.
Relate a lot to you. I hope your career in streaming or a YouTuber goes up as much as possible. I don't know. I don't count on it. My main worry right now is the short term, right? And in the short term, I don't count on it. In the long term, I have a difficult time thinking in the long term right now. It's hard. I will talk about it. Thank you. I will. Okay, what is status update early May 2024? Hard time thinking about the future / long term / let's say mid term. I think I have a kind of a sense of what I want to do in the long term, but more in the very long term and in a nebulous idea, right? Nebulous idea of the very long term. And then, for example, I do think YouTube or whatever, those things are more of a part of it. But in the short term and especially in the mid term, right, I don't know what to do. In many ways, in many senses. What's going on in your life, though? How's Lahore? How's Lahore treating you? Even in the midterm, for example, I have a hard time thinking about traveling and all of those things. I have a list of places I want to go, but it's hard. Good enough now. It's like if I start thinking about long term, there's too many things to be scared of. Yeah, I guess I relate to that.
I would think, oh, okay, this is for pursuing, but since I'm not getting paid, it feels retarded to like put major hours of, I guess, lucid or like prime time in the day of sunlight and stuff like that to that purpose. It feels kind of dumb. But yeah, on that I wanted to tie this to this podcast. Let's see if here. Okay, so well, I'm gonna do this. No, this and this. Yeah, so this is a podcast called by Paul Miller. Called is
I was Lahore, bro. It was rain 2 days. It was like winter. Next day it was so hot. I was melting. Lol. Holy fuck! 40 degrees. Jesus Christ. 42 degrees. And when it rains, 33. I mean, 33 is not very wintry to me, but Lahore weather last week, let's say. Or something like this, right? Thirty 20. I mean, that's not winter, but I guess it's your kind of winter, right? Yup, look past. I mean, March. Yeah, I guess in end of March, 16 degrees, 27 top, and rainstorms and all that. Actual winter is way less, but do you have seasons in what language do you speak? Urdu, right? Is Urdu like in Hindi where there are 6 seasons? You know this? Do you know this? I'm not sure if it's exclusively a language thing and more of an Indian subcontinent type thing. Maybe because of the Muslim influence, it's different, and that is more of a like Hinduism religion traditions. But maybe how would this? It's like Ritu or something like this. Ritu. Fuck it. Let's look up my history. Ritu, yes. It means season in the Indian calendars in India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, I guess. So maybe not in Pakistan. But yeah, there are 6 seasons in North India. This is, I think, North India. Vasanta, Grishma, Varsa, Sharada, Hemanta, Shishira. And it's like 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months. And there is like spring, summer hot season, monsoon rainy season, autumn, winter cool season, and then actual winter. I really want to live at a place with below 0 degrees for a while. Just seems like a dream. Come here. No, we don't got that. No, it was interesting. East Indian, Bengali, Maithili, Odia, South Indian, Malayalam, and then Tamil. But yeah, doesn't say anything about the left part. 4 seasons. Like the hotel, right? It's a ritual in Vedic religion or whatever. It's derived from Vedic stuff. His gig work, really the figure of work with Venkatesh Rao, aka VGR, on Twitter. Well, no longer Twitter, but Parcaster, I guess. And yeah, it's an interesting podcast. And in this section, they talk about boldness. So let me see if I can find something. Okay. Fuck, the audio is too loud. I just noticed. Sorry about this. Yeah, so let's go with what he's saying. Indie concepts are like something. Wait, I just noticed the audio isn't playing. Kala Chakra Mandala.
One is simply courage. Courage to think about things in sort of the priority suggested by your intuitive response to the reality. That in looking at this confusing chaos of inputs you're supposed to do something with, and your intuition tells you this is more important than that. That's less important. That can be ignored. And of course, you kind of need some experience to trust your intuition. But once you have that experience, actually trusting your intuitions and running with them, as opposed to second guessing yourself and saying, "Hey, my intuition tells me that this one paper is far more important than the other 99 papers I've collected, and I should spend all my time understanding this one paper in depth."
It's beautiful.
Trusting that intuition and being bold enough to actually do that, as opposed to saying, "No, my boss will be mad if I don't write 2-sentence summaries of all 100 papers, including the 80 bullshit ones." That's not having the boldness. And the taste comes in with, you could be wrong about picking the one paper that matters. So you better be right a lot, which is Amazon leadership principle. So it's
I've made these videos, right? I more or less know what they are saying.
You to,
I just need
give yourself
kind of
permission to be creative in how you approach a problem. And
yeah, so basically this, right? He's talking about consulting and stuff like that, and solving actual people's problems, I guess, and business problems, stuff like that. But I think it kind of applies to me in a way, right? It's like when he talks about this, having taste, giving yourself permission to act, and stuff like that, I feel like the combination of asking the right question so that I have some kind of peace of mind on that economic sense, I guess, or well, not economic, but on that stability sense, I guess, or on that, can I really afford to do this privileged, retarded thing, right? Can I do this? And it's like, yeah, I can be bold enough thanks to that, thanks to my mind being clearer from family worries, stuff like that, and from pushing to the back of my mind other kind of worries. That allows me to be bold and to pursue like my curiosities, my tastes, and I can be like, yes, even though it may sound retarded to pursue this, I think it's actually worth pursuing. I think even though maybe people will think, what the fuck is this guy doing some random ass made up GeoGuessr challenge, right? Who the fuck cares about it, first of all, and second of all, why are you wasting your time in that manner? It's like, okay, I trust, it's not even like trust, it's like just gut feeling. I have the feeling that this is important, that this is an interesting enough thing for me to pursue, right? It's like, people were probably telling Rainbolt, the top GeoGuessr, well, the most famous GeoGuessr player on TikTok and stuff like that, he was probably getting told, like, what the fuck are you uploading this retarded? Or like when he was geoguessing in 0.1 seconds, right, before being famous on TikTok for that, he had to practice a lot, right? It's like, why the fuck are you spending so much time on this fucking retarded game? I guess a lot of people probably told him that, right? And I'm like, the same thing, but he still had this focus of just playing this single retarded game, right? While I have a lot of fucking things on my plate. But even still, I think it's like, yeah, even with all these fucking things on my plate, I want to do this dumb thing because I fucking want to. And I'm going to be bold enough to do it. And I have to trust myself to follow through on that, right? It's like, if I realized in some time that it was actually the dumb choice and I should have done something else, okay, I would roll with it. But right now it feels important enough to do it, right? And I want to do it. And this also goes on with the I Know Places site, for example, the Figma site that I showed you. It's like, I know no one is going to actually use my site because no one is signing up to this stupid platform or whatever. And even as a portfolio site, there are probably better portfolio sites that I could do. But fuck it, I want to, right? I have to trust myself that I like this domain, these quirky domain names, and if I want to, and I have to trust myself on that. Leveraging my taste for quirky domains will get me somewhere. Where is somewhere? I don't know. Probably somewhere with other dumb people who value quirky domains like me, right? It's like if there's some recruiter somewhere else in some fucking company that finds it funny, I will probably belong there more than somewhere where the recruiter doesn't find that funny, right? It's like I have to trust myself that following through with this will make sense. Even though someone might think, why the fuck are you building this site that nobody will use? Right?
I ended up being the person, like that guy. I didn't build the site, right? So I was, in the end, I stopped myself from doing it, or I never followed through actually on the site. And yeah, I never followed through on that site because of ChatGPT. Then, like, well, not because of, but ChatGPT wasn't as helpful as I would have wanted.
I wanted also to this video getting.
Maybe now with Vision it's different. Maybe I could.
Fuck, but I don't care. It's from me anyway. So yeah, here is the old roadmap that I made. I analyzed objectives. Why was music important? Because it's emotional communication. It's important for me, so I wanted coding, money, cars, videos, and I had some things. Yeah. Why?
The problem with this roadmap is that it's missing a big part. And what I have done is basically invisible here. I don't know.
Why was music important? Because it's emotional communication. It's important for me, so I wanted to say coding. Why is it important for me? Because of web presence. It helps with my web presence, and it also helps in the short term with maybe playing the money game of the software of the web development world, something like that. And I'm interested in database tech because I want to save data of cars that I like. I'm interested in my online garden because I want to communicate my ideas. Effective comms tech, right? I have some pet projects. Yeah, and I have a lot of time online, so many ideas have to do with online stuff. Yeah, then money. Why do I care about money? Not only because I want to finance the rest of the map, I want to finance the car and the videos thing. And then I was answering some questions of why don't I try to pursue money using cars and using this thing. Yeah, if you want to, I have it uploaded there. Yeah, so basically what I want to comment on now, yeah, maybe reviewing it a little bit. Yeah, so I want to finance the rest of the map, and I want to basically finance it on my own terms. So I don't want to work on cars on other people's terms, right? I don't care for that. It's like I have friends that are working on other people's cars.
For example, here. There are reasons missing, right? There is no explanation for why I said this. It's like, why do I not want to work on other people's cars, right? That is the missing piece.
But maybe those roots
and those answers are what are revealed to me or whatever. I don't know. A year past. I don't know. Reasons why in the whatever roadmap.
Because they are working on really cool parts actually. Yeah, but they are way more interested in that than I am interested in that, I feel, right? And I feel like I'm interested in that in more cars videos, and I have some things. Yeah, I'm interested in foreign stuff. I have it to the map, and I want to care for that. Yeah, but money. Yes. And I want to have every part of the video. It's always tied into it, I guess. Yeah, then I want to go to videos. Yeah, I want to make car videos. I want to have a car museum. Yeah, this is a Reddit post I made. I showed it in the other video where I talk about some cars that I like from every part of the world. Yeah, I want to reach people. This is the old roadmap, and in the new roadmap, before change, like I can pursue, right?
I didn't do this. Written travel and independence.
Have to, yeah, because the independence thing can enable videos, can enable cars, and yeah, requires money, and yeah, basically can enable music. So yeah, I would like to add more of these things that require other things but enable the others, right? So what do I, for example, why am I making so little videos, or why am I not making music? All of these independence, for example, would be one thing, but maybe there are more things, more blockers, for example, that require money or that require other things that I'm missing here in this map, and that I would like to add. And I also feel like I have to abstract other things that are missing.
For example, music, all the emotional things rest on me, on my emotional state and all that, and all of those things are missing. Like there is a big part of here that is missing, that it is
here,
right.
Writing,
I'm not sure in purpose at that time,
writing is a big enough thing,
or
that
whatever.
goes into videos, that could go into coding, or that goes into the money part, because for example I got paid by Visa for writing some little thing, but maybe that could maybe not expand, but maybe I have to think about that, right? It is basically a big pillar. I'm also thinking of writing for other side projects. And yeah, I would also like to focus on the thing, because for example the videos and the cars and the coding, they don't solve those kind of community things by themselves, right? So I would like to abstract some of these to what kind of coding is useful or fulfilling to create, right? So I would like maybe to add fulfillment as a bubble, or yeah, when are cars fulfilling to own or drive? Well, cars are fulfilling to own when you feel some sense of community to the other people who own the same car, I guess, right? So community to tie to that, or maybe maybe not to see this.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
interesting.
video series, video 49. Status update, May 2023. First, I'm going to talk about the status update that I did in April 2023. That this was beginning of April. And I talked about several things. I talked about, well, some funny things, but those I talked about already then, so it's not talking about them now. So I wanted to talk about, how the progress was been, because here I talked about ChatGPT and AI and stuff like that, about this book, and I talked about it like wishing I did something with it in the future. So spoiler, I didn't do anything. Basically, I didn't touch the book. In this video, I talked about how ChatGPT helped me go from 0 to 0.1 in some projects, and I got out the 0 to 1 book and said that 0 to 0.1 is hard. Well, you can watch this video. But yeah, essentially, that shit has stayed at 0.1, and I haven't taken anything from 0.1 to 0.1, basically. I haven't built anything of what I
This
want
is
to
the
build.
last one.
And yeah, and in the web development front, shit is basically the same thing, because those projects were web development basically. So yeah, I haven't advanced anything there
54.
because I've gotten like more focused on, well, focused between quotes, because it's not really that focused, but yeah. But if I've done anything, it's not on that front, and it's on the video front. And
You watched this video, right?
So,
I saw your
yeah.
comment there.
I was more focused on that. I will talk about more about it later. But yeah. Then next thing, Mitas Alonso, I talked about it here. I was going to go to a concert. Now the concert has passed, and yeah, I wanted to make a couple of videos about it before going to the concert, and I didn't do them. I had the idea. I even made some scripts, but yeah, they weren't good scripts. Well, not scripts. Right? I tried to make an application because the video was about. Well, it was basically analyzing some lyrics, and I wanted the lyrics to be colorful and stuff like that. So I started to build something of application, and yeah, it started working a little bit, but I wasn't happy with it. So yeah, I scrapped that shit, and yeah, I eventually didn't do anything with it. Then, yeah, I went to the concert, and yeah, in the concert, it was a good concert actually. I liked it a lot, and yeah, for like the size of the artist compared to like, well, or the recency, because he's only been like an artist for a couple of years, and this was probably one of his first shows, like his first big shows where he was headlining and stuff like that, and it was really good. It was, in my opinion, like kind of weirdly polished for it, and the vibe in the concert was very good. There was like great energy. The people who were there like really wanted to be there and really knew what was going on. There were a couple of things that did leave a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but yeah, and those are like the ones that come to mind first, sadly, because that's how my mind and probably my minds work. But yeah. It was a good thing, but with a couple of bad aftertastes, but nothing too important in the big scheme of things, I think. Then another thing I talked about was the GeoGuessr challenge here. I found that potentially time wasting activity, and yeah, I'm not sure if by this time I had already gotten a perfect score or not, but yeah, I didn't get much far from that. I basically got my score, and yeah, got my perfect score. That wasn't my aim. I was aiming to be like the best player in the community of the Madrid map, and I didn't get there. But yeah, I may resume this thing, but I'm not too sure about it. Depends on how I'm paying, and I don't know. I'm paying for the fucking GeoGuessr thing, but I'm also paying for ChatGPT, for example, and I barely
I'm still paying a year later. I've spent 36 euros, I guess, through the whole year, because it's like 4 euros a month actually, 48 euros in total since last year, and I have played 4 times or whatever.
And then yeah, I talked about it a lot. I talked a lot about a roadmap, and yeah, in that roadmap, I mentioned that I wanted to build a new roadmap, and that stuff was missing. And I talked about some stuff that I thought was missing, and yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this status update at the end. But yeah, I want to mention that I'm thinking about that too. So then, May status update. This is like the proper May status update. What has happened in this month? This is going to be a short part. I don't have a lot to say because not many things happen. But yeah, on April was very much like a down month, and especially towards the end of April. Right now it's May, right? Yeah. And yeah, I carried that energy onto May at the beginning as well, right? So there were a lot of weeks. I have it in my journal here. So yeah, I wasn't feeling really well. I was bad. I was feeling bad, and I wasn't as excited.
Literally the same this month actually.
Because in this status update in the April one,
April was also a month where I felt pretty down, I guess.
I kind of have this I want to do stuff vibe, I think, and yeah, the actual month of April was not like that at all. It was pretty down. I was very frustrated about several things and overthinking some stuff and stuff like that.
I probably was overthinking the same stuff I'm overthinking now.
So yeah, that was basically April and kind of early May as well. And also I started walking less, so even though I kept walking and at least
I'm still walking less.
Didn't completely crash my habits into the ground. It got worse in the end because I was having a great streak, and then it got worse towards end of April, beginning of May. Yeah, I don't know. I did start reading a book, this one, but I'm in the middle of it now. So yeah, it's some habits switched because some others switched, and yeah, it's a bit messy. But yeah, in that aspect, it was kind of bad. Well, bad. Neutral with a kind of bad side of it, I guess. And then at the end of May, actually, a couple of things happened, which was nice. Some events that changed the usual vibe and routine, and that's kind of the energy that I'm carrying right now. And this is like the most recent status, the most recent thing. Right? So these couple of events, one was a networking event, and one was meeting a friend on Twitter. Kind of those changed my day, right? So I have to move stuff. Well, stuff. What stuff do you have to move if you're not doing anything? My routine is I have to move. Yeah, I have to do these activities at different times and stuff, right? And I can't wake up at the next time. Well, actually, the waking time didn't change that, but yeah, like the things that I had planned. Well, the browsing of the internet gets postponed, so I wake up the opposite of waking up. Go to bed. So I go to bed way later, stuff like that. Essentially, that these things both switch up my routine a bit, so they're kind of exciting because they move my day a bit, but also it's like they get me new environments where I have to think about new stuff. So yeah, it's nice in that sense, but because I have to think about stuff, then the things I think about aren't usually positive and bubbly. So yeah, this leads to what am I thinking about, right? What's actually on my mind, and yeah, on the first thing that's on my mind was friends, right? So, it's got me meeting people from the internet gives me, it's like opens up my perspective, and when shit like local elections, which happened yesterday, and stuff like that, but the electoral campaign was going on from like a couple of weeks before or a month before, right? And your group chats from people, or from real life people, are full of annoying shit that you don't really want to read, then it's like meeting people who are not sending that shit to you. It's refreshing, right? So it makes me question what the fuck am I doing with my life in the friends sense, right? So here, for example, there's this Sahil, very kind of Twitter bro, I guess, I don't know, not sure how to call this guy, but yeah, very popular person in these parts, and yeah, he has had these tweets that with graphs of time spent with family, how it peaks when you're a kid, and it drops down by teenagerdom, adolescence, and then when you're an adult, very low. Time with friends, same, peaks around high school, boom, drop down. College friends, I guess, the curve would go like when you meet them in college, so 0, then in college, boom, and you spend a lot of time with them, then the 4 years, and then either boom, hella drop down, or maybe our paths are going to drift anyways. So if we don't work for it, the friendships won't last. But if we don't have a lot of common values, then it's like, why am I going to work for it? Right? Aside from basically tradition, which is one of those values that I really don't share that much. So it's like, it's got me thinking like that, right? And yeah, basically, and yeah, or why don't I fucking find someone why don't I spend my energy on this part, right? But yeah, so that's the friends part. That's what's on my mind on the friends side. Then another thing that's on my mind because of these recent events, which are meeting people, that social things, right? And it's basically that my social skills are so fucking bad, and I don't think that they are that bad in the life. So yeah, 1-to-1 or in a group setting, I don't think they are hyper bad. Well, but they are probably bad. But even still, I don't think that that's really the issue, or at least I don't really notice it when I'm present. Sometimes, I think I'm a bit awkward, but yeah, I think it's surmountable. But after, it's like I have a hard time managing my psychology on these social things. Whatever, in both things, in both events that happened, this one was like a networking event stuff, and the other one was meeting a friend. Even though they are different things. It's like in both the common thing is social ability, and in both I don't do well, right? It's like I have this feeling here. I cannot psychologically handle knowing the fact that my social skills are so bad, right? So during the event, I'm like, all right, let's go, let's keep this going, and let's see where this goes. But when it ends, I'm like, holy fuck, what, right? Holy fuck, what the fuck happened? Or what? Why did I don't know. Yeah, I get these kind of thoughts, and yeah, I get like there are 1,000 things that I could have done better, and then I have to go like, okay, but it doesn't matter. I have to do my decision tree and remember, okay, you made a decision tree, and you said, okay, I'm going to show you the decision tree. So yeah, so I was like, I will my nerves. And blah, blah, blah. Cope. Okay, so then I have this roadmap thing that where stuff is missing, right? And in the video I said I did say a couple things like I think there are some things missing like community and stuff like that. But I like in these couple months it's like maybe I haven't even really reflected on it on this roadmap context, but it's like seeing it, I am seeing this that there is a lot of like it's not that it's missing, it's that it's missing in a huge way, and it is such a big pillar for related to some of these. Well, not some of these, basically like all of the points are kind of related to that.
Yeah, exactly what I was saying. A year ago already I knew that. Now I guess I just know deeper a little bit.
All of these have this backbone of community or like friendship or stuff like that that's holding me back. So even the money part, I feel held back by this lack of community or like lack of belonging to some, I don't know, that stuff. And yeah, lately in these couple months I'm coming to terms with it, right? I'm like this feeling of isolation removes my will to pursue like basically every pillar of the roadmap, right? I don't fucking care about, well, actually the only thing I do care is video, but I don't care about making car videos, I don't care about cars, I care about cars a lot less. I always care a little bit about cars, but a lot less. I don't care about money, I don't care about coding, I don't care about, well, I always care about music a little bit, but yeah, it's like I don't feel like making music for yourself. I don't know. I don't feel like making music for myself, right? Or like I don't feel like coding for myself. I don't feel like making money for myself, or without just, I don't know, without being part of something, right? It's like, or like I don't care about cars without a car community to care about cars with, right? It's like, you can't care about cars without thinking in community terms, right? Who the fuck are you buying the cars from, right? It's like marketplace shit bores me. It's like the car marketplaces without community are like boring as fuck. It's like the cool market opportunities are in the yeah, I don't know how to say this, casual, small, a lot more, right? That's why I think this doing all stuff online, being online, making YouTube videos, being on Twitter all fucking day is the revealed preference, instead of this whole fucking roadmap where I wrote like 12 things and then did none of them, right? Or these status updates where I wanted to do 15 fucking things and did none of them, right? The revealed preference, which is being online, or which is making YouTube fucking videos that 3 people watch, it's like, it's the only thing that I'm doing because it's what I think or what I have a belief of. This We're So Early is kind of trying to channel that, right? The We're So Early video is trying to channel this sentiment of, inshallah, this will work, or something like that, right? And that's why I'm doing it, and I want to incorporate it in the roadmap in a way that kind of, yeah, in the same way that I'm doing this, in the same way this event is like, I made this kind of scheme for this event. It's like I want this roadmap to be like this, right? To have some kind of I get caught, I don't get caught, right? So it's like I follow through with this, I don't follow through with that. So if I don't follow through with that, this means, and I have to kind of figure out what the fuck do I mean with this, right? Or like if I make videos and they get views or they don't get views, or what does it mean and what do I think about this? What do I do then, right? Do I still keep doing it, or if I tweet stuff and people DM me, or if people don't DM me, or if I DM people or if I don't DM people? Like I have to think through that kind of shit and somehow tie the other things together. Like when the fuck are the cars coming? Are the cars ever coming? Am I going to just work and take the bus forever? Am I going to get a job someday? Am I going to get money in any ways that don't involve a job if I don't tweet? Or if I do tweet, or if my tweets flop, or if my tweets don't flop, or, that kind of stuff. I have to go through that process. I think that's what's on my mind right now. I'm not sure if I will do it so explicitly, or if I will do something like this video where I try to talk through it at least, or if I will just write it for myself. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. But that's what's on my mind, and that's like my status update of end of May, and that was it.
Okay, now
the
latest one. Late February 2024.
So
30 minutes.
If you don't know me, well, that's how I'm on the internet, and I do these videos every month talking about what I have done this month. Well, not every month, sometimes every month, sometimes less often, sometimes more often. And in this case, it was more or less a month since I did the previous one, like a month and 2 weeks more or less. And yeah, I felt like I needed to update me in this kind of journaling purpose or something. So since the last status update, you can see this is the past one, January 19th, 2024. Today is January 27th.
Questions to my future self.
And yeah, since then, I am still working very little. I wake up late and go to bed pretty late. So I'm going to bed at like 4 or 5 a.m. every day and waking up at like 1 p.m. lately. So I barely work, like half an hour at most, or maybe 1 hour at most, many days half an hour. So compared to like 4 months, 5 months ago, I'm working very, very little. And yeah, I think that influences a bit the rest of it, because that means that more of my hours that I am awake late at night, and late at night I do certain activities only, right? So for example, very late at night I don't usually do things like, for example, clean my room. I can't clean my room late at night, so my room gets a little bit more disordered, right? Or I can't, like I am more tired, so I am less eager to like build things, or I am like I don't tend to edit video, or well, I don't edit a lot of video in general, but those things I don't read. For example, I read less. Sometimes I used to read, but at night as well. But now I don't. I watch more things. Right? I tend to watch more things. So I watch more YouTube. I watch TV shows. I watch The True Detective, I think. So yes, since let's overview the videos that I have uploaded. Since the 19th of January, I have uploaded some videos. Yeah. Oh yeah, I watched True Detective. I watched the whole Mission Impossible series. So I watched relatively a big amount of movies, I could say, and TV shows, like TV episodes. I tried to get hired. I will talk about this now as well. And I made a couple of videos on a newer, not new style, but on a newer style. So trying to shorter videos instead of longer ones. And they didn't work, but I don't know. I did them, a couple of them. Then, yeah, streaming and videos. I've also been streaming, so I think regarding that I have been pretty consistent, right? So I am streaming right now. I've streamed basically every day for like a month, maybe skipping a couple of days, right? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 4 weeks, and a month. Now I know I have already gotten past 100 days streaming. Month. To the job board, the stream, boom, and more or less about here it must be. So I have streamed basically every day, which is interesting. I like streaming. Right now, because I am recording, I am not reading the stream, but I can read, for example, that Hanyo said, lol, I didn't know you do this regularly. Here, regarding my status updates. And yeah, I do them regularly. Not that regularly, but yeah, I should do a playlist of all of my status updates. Until it's January, the previous one was in October, then the previous one was end of summer, so it's kind of a couple per season maybe, and then some other more monthly. But yeah, back when I was doing the 100 video series, for example, when I had that in mind, I did them more often because it was a pretty easy video to do in the 100 video series. But now, less. And yeah, I think that's basically more or less what's happened since the last update. And, okay, yes. Then, another thing that has happened, right, was me trying to get a job. The video that I uploaded here, writing my skill set, was a passive way of doing it, right? It was me trying to get something, like a passive way, like putting something out there and receiving incoming. Didn't work. And I did like 3 or 4 more not passive ones. So for example, if you go to my channel, we can see all of these. No one replied to all of these. 4 or 3 or 4, I'm not sure. No one replied. Then to this one, she didn't watch it either. And then another one from January. This one, she replied and all that, but she ghosted me. So I have so far I have been ignored every time, except one time when I haven't been ignored and I have been replied to, but then she didn't show up to the meeting. And then I have one which I sent yesterday that is pending. I have a meeting arranged, so that is good. I got an answer, and yeah, obviously this one was half passive, half active because it was not on me. It was I got tagged on Twitter by someone who I follow. So yeah, it is half passive, half active, and I did record the active application for it, and that is pending. Right? So that is how the job thing has evolved since this January. Okay, I did get that job. I
that gig, I followed through. Okay, gig Shane did it, got it, did it, it ended.
And that one is pre-January 19th, this application, but I talk about it in the video. That one was resolved to ghosted. We will see how it evolves in the future if I try to get deghosted or what. Yo, he was recording. Okay, fuck it. I mean, this is going into the video. Yo, he's recording an active video for himself, so he will probably not read chat right now. Yes, that is true. I fucked it up right now, but oh well. And oh yeah, but that is afterwards, right? So now the next thing, right? Things on my mind. So, oh yeah, okay. Now this one was like something that happened since the time between the past movement, but I feel more. I think I push like watch the and I say that I'm less moody, but still sad sometimes.
Okay. Fuck it, I don't want to watch all this. Well,
and I wouldn't say that the base definition has shifted, but I would agree with that as well. And like if I was less moody before, and I am now less moody than I have ignored being. So yeah, that's about the fact that curiosity it kind of like the then another thing I think about is money. I still think about money. I saw this tweet today and in your own life. Epistemology about yourself. And I am here. Like I am still in this stage. And like my relationship to money is tied to this whole well, not tied. So I don't know, said that people are always telling you something. And this, the answer that I give, the annoying that, like, since on YouTube, also try. Let's go to the university and learn about these books or something like this, and eat in Madrid, the city, or where. So to be able to have like expenses, to be able to like expense money like this. So I like my activities, but I would like to give a little bit of spice. Right? I'd like to spend less time on the computer and more time doing things, or like recording things, and learn more languages. Japan, maybe moderation related. Not to get the 3D model of that. I'd also like to take a second crack at math. These are all contingent on money. Both license with painting back again. Yeah, I think to improve the things. I also have coding in mind. Present. I don't know, it is really, but I don't say some freak, and in a way that I put it in because it's hard. For example, to type things. Right? I think that I am going too much on intuition, but I don't know, I think it will pay off. I think it will. I have not talked in this host. I would get from this video. Like if I had to sum this video up in one word or word, it would be like curiosity and like stream that. Be happy. Oh, I feel like overall I am like it's me. And yeah, that's basically it. I think these are all the questions that I am going to leave for my future self. And goodbye. And yeah, that's basically.
Fuck it. I will have to do them, I guess. Questions. Okay, now I'm going to record it. Status update, May 2024, well, early May 2024. This is the last status update that I did. I will leave the link in the description. And yeah, you can see briefly what the timestamps look like. I'm not going to go over really exactly what I said before, and I'm going to go more or less straight into what I'm feeling compared to not only last status update, but also a couple of earlier status updates from April 2023 and from May 2024, end of May 2023, sorry. It's kind of comparing myself now to both my previous one and a couple, like 1 year back, more or less, exactly 1 year back. So I have a couple of notes here, and yeah, basically, I would say that now I am kind of nebulous, right? My mind is pretty nebulous, and I have a hard time thinking about the future in the mid long term parts, which is pretty tough for me because I am a person who has basically based his soul happiness basically in contingent on the future being better than the present, right? So if that doesn't happen, it will be suck a lot. And right now I don't even see the vision for that, right? The vision that I had some times ago, like it's so early or whatever the fuck, it's not materializing. So, and I don't see how it will like the vision is way less clear. Not only the vision, it was never really a vision. It was more of a feeling, and now it's like the feeling isn't even there, right? Now I don't even trust in the feeling. So yeah, I have a hard time thinking about picturing myself in the future and all this. And yeah, a year passed. Basically, I was thinking about spending time on retarded stuff, then having like this kind of intention to do things, then realizing myself already the next month that if I wasn't doing these things, it was because of something. And yeah, in the road, I had a roadmap and all that I noticed myself a year already ago that was incomplete. And now I'm feeling the same things, right? I am feeling that fake roadmap, well, that roadmap that I made is not fake, but it's really incomplete, so it's useless, and that there are reasons missing in there. This is a video from May, for example, and you can see here that I mentioned money. Well, not sure if you can see it really well, but yeah, this was me in May commenting on me in April. And yeah, for example, here in cars, wait.
This is a video, I assume it's part of my 100 video series, but that's what's on my mind, and that's like my status. We'll do something like this video where I have the other things. People DM me, or if people don't DM me, or if I DM people, or if I don't DM people. Like, I have to think through that kind of shit. And that months, it's like, maybe I haven't even really reflected on it on this roadmap context, but it's like, seeing it, I am seeing this, that there is a lot of, like, it's not that it's missing, it's that it's missing in a huge way, and it is such a big pillar for related to some of these, well, not some of these, basically, like, all of the points are kind of related to that, right? All of these are
yeah, I used the video from April, the original one, and in the video from April here, for example, it says, why not make it when I'm talking about cars and money, it's like, why do I want to work on cars? And yeah, it mentions that I want to do it on my terms, right? But I don't mention why I want to do it on my terms, right? I mention why I'm not working on cars right now, but I don't mention why I want to do it on my terms, right? So there is always like a level to it that, so this addresses some things at a surface level, but it doesn't address the why behind that. That is kind of pretty consistently what I noticed, and I also noticed it back then, but now I notice it with a different context. For example, that is superficially tied to community, right? It's like, why don't I want to do it on my own terms versus on my terms, right? It's like, why do I have this feeling of not wanting to belong to that collective of people who works on cars paid, right? Why don't I want to be a mechanic, literally, right? And there are some reasons, right? And I'm not getting into those reasons, and yeah, for several reasons, right? Like, and there are several reasons, I guess, that I could, for example, I don't want to just be a mechanic that work for pay because the pay is little, but it's not just that, right? For example, right now I need money, and if I got that job for some reason, I would accept it. The problem is that I don't belong in the community of people who have that job, right? That is the thing. I have not studied the same things, even though I don't have the same physical knowledge that those people have. So those dynamics, plus a huge thing, the huge gap that I always leave in all my videos, the huge unaddressed, well, I call it huge now because it's growing in my perception right now. But some of those days it's simply something that I leave unaddressed. Lately, the thing is that I have been going within me, that the process is like, compared to a year ago, I have gone way. The only thing that I have done, basically, because the only thing that I have to show for are these videos, which are pretty vague, and the less vague part is me going within and exploring and thinking and all of those and introspecting. And that is the only process, and that is a process that I have kept more or less not fully private, because I have rambled a lot here, but the key parts of it, the key missing pieces in these roadmaps, in these videos, in all these, are the things that I have kept within. And those reasons are always what is missing from these videos, from their roadmap, from whatever, right? And I'm not sure. Yeah, and I think that the new roadmap and the one, if I were to actually make it, will have to actually address it, and I will probably not share it here, right? I may document it, but I won't share it like this, because there is a reason why I'm not sharing this thing, right? But I have to think about it. I have to take that into account. That is, I guess, the thing that I am realizing, right? This is what it has it really taken me a year to realize this? Sadly, I think so, right? I think that is kind of the conclusion to which I am arriving. That it really has taken me 1 year, or even like 1 year and a half more so, to realize this. Or 27 years, because I'm going to be 27 years old, right? That it has taken me all this time to realize that is a part that I need to address, or that I have been ignoring. That is sad. It is sad, and that is why I am always, I guess, moody, why I'm always feeling kind of down, because it is sad. It is sad that it has taken me so long to, I guess, realize that part, that thing. Yeah, this is basically it. I have talked to some people, right? Messaged people on Discord, messaged people on whatever, contacted some people, I have talked like on the side with people about these things, right? Throughout a year or 2 years or something like this. I have made posts on Reddit about it for years already, very slowly, but I had never, I don't know, it was always that it has been something that I have more or less kept separate, and that I'm trying to integrate or something, and that it has come to this, right? It has come to this point of like being a blockage or whatever, I don't know, of me realizing that the reason why I had all these plans or whatever, not the reason, not the singular reason, right? But that I have arrived at a certain point where now that is kind of the reason, right? I could, like, that is the reason that it is blocking me from many things. This is my theory, right? Maybe, what am I? May 2024. Maybe I will see this in May 2025 and realize that I was wrong again, right? But I have a feeling that maybe it's not going to be like that, right? Maybe it's going to be different. I don't know, maybe I could give a little bit more context. I'm going to just give a little bit. I think that even for future me, it will be obvious, right? That I am being obscure for the audience, which there is basically no audience, but identitarian things, right? These things that relate to how I feel about myself and how I relate to others in the world. Those concerns are top of mind, you could say, and have been increasingly top of mind throughout the years, right? Throughout these couple of years, or maybe even more, right? And it has taken me solitude to think about these things, right? Because when I am actually engaging with other people, for some reason, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Maybe I will find better words for this. Maybe I will never find words for it. I don't know. Maybe I will keep going around this all forever. Who knows? Okay, I will go over my channel, and I have made some more introspective videos lately. You can see here that this is the last February update, so I have made a couple of introspective videos like this. The towards and awareness was pretty introspective. These videos were introspective. These videos are also kind of introspective as well. This wasn't, but this is also introspective. This is, I guess, something that I had pending. And yeah, I have made some videos in that sense. I have streamed. I have reached more than 100 days. Today is day 123 or something like this. And I reached day 100 here 3 weeks ago. I didn't know it at the time, but I checked later, and it was these days. Reading Swiftstone Securities life story was day 100 streaming. I have applied to jobs, a ton of jobs. Well, not a ton, like 10 maybe. Maybe less. Maybe 10 including the ones that I have mentioned. So maybe I have applied to 5 extra jobs or something like this. But my applications are always like pondered, right? So I have applied to 2 regular jobs, regular engineering jobs, more or less. Then I have applied to software jobs for a couple, then for remote type shit, a couple more, right? Gotten all rejections / ignoring, getting ignored. I have applied to one, I have gotten a callback, but then not a further callback. And I'm still pending in that sense with this. I have gotten 1 gig, 1 editing gig, no, 2 editing gigs, actually. I have gotten 2 editing gigs. For around 250 euros, 200, 150, and, well, dollars actually, not euros. Euros, well, even less, so 180 and like 30 or something. And then, but both of those gigs were like one time. I mean, they were not supposed to be one time, but they ended up being one time. And that's basically, in the job part, that is how it has been going. Okay, I figured that the questions that I am going to ask myself that I got from last stream, I think these are like questions that I wanted to ask myself every update, are, yeah, I will talk about the things that I have talked already about in this update, but through the questions, right? So first, how do you feel about your money situation right now? Bad, but the gigs have, even though they have been like super small, they have padded a little bit of the sufferment or whatever, right? They have given me a small buffer of like at least not being hyper worried that I'm going to actually run out of money super soon. That plus crypto going up a little bit, but now it's back down. But yeah, having crypto on the back of my mind plus these gigs have given me a little bit of breathing room, but nothing outside of like being able to plan shit out, right? It's more of like giving me a little bit of breathing room. How do you feel about your job employment situation, daily activities right now? Okay, so my job employment situation, the editing gigs that I have gotten have already ended. Therefore, I feel bad about that they have been too short, right? I feel bad about it. I feel kind of rejected, I guess, or like I didn't fit in the project, something like that, right? Which makes me feel bad. I feel bad about that. Employment situation, I feel bad about it as well because of the lack of money, not necessarily because of the tasks that I do. How do I feel about my daily activities? I actually like streaming, and I actually like that. But I don't like that I don't have money, right? That I can't show up to stream, I don't know, not authentically or something, but with interesting things, because the thing before my mind thinking before being able to think about the stream is thinking about money, right? That is the problem. I am thinking about employment and all that before thinking about what to do on stream, which makes stream worse, which makes me feel like streaming is useless, right? This kind of loop. Then, the MSEC, how do you feel about my employment situation? Bad enough that I have applied to a regular job, more or less, and that I am considering if they even call me back. It's pending, not good vibes, but I am thinking already about quitting the job, even before getting called from the interviews there, right? Because it's a super low, well, not super low salary, but it's a low salary that doesn't give me independence, right? It gives me a bigger buffer compared to the gigs, right? That's why I'm considering getting it. But it's not enough for me, right? For my goals and all that, which sucks. Art pastimes you'd like to learn or practice? I could go back to the same ones that I said before, but right now the problem is that I am not thinking of these things, right? I am not thinking of these things. I think that the main things that I think about as pastimes or whatever would be something like going to therapy or some shit like that, and doing vocal training or something like that. Singing, that kind of thing, maybe. Those are the things that I feel more like that I would like to improve. That is kind of the focus, for reasons that may be revealed in the future. And I guess it sucks to think like that, but I do think that it would take. I was thinking that if I get this job that takes so much of my time, and the only thing that I would have left to use my time for would be basically for those purposes, right? That is the only thing that I would be developing like that, right? Maybe I would do a little bit more of web development, or maybe that frustration of not having time for myself would make me want to pivot to tech, to a healthier career in tech. But yeah, that is kind of how my mind goes, right? It doesn't even go like that. It would probably be like 1 year of working there and then getting kicked out, well, because the contract is a substitution contract, and then reevaluating with a little bit of savings. Then I would start thinking anew about what I want to do now that I have this experience behind my back of the job of probably sucking or something like that, right? Or maybe I like it actually, right? Who knows? How do you feel about the environment you live in right now? I don't like living in my parents' house, but it's actually not that bad, right? It's not bad. They are more or less in a good relationship or whatever. They are not angry. Like, it's not at the worst that it's ever been by any means, right? It's probably even at the best that it's been here in my house. So it's pretty comfortable for the moment, except when I don't have a job, right? So I would suspect that having that job would actually chill my mom for a bit or whatever, and I don't know, give her some kind of inner peace regarding me or whatever the fuck, right? So, I don't know. In that sense, I don't feel that bad about staying here for the duration of that job. But I definitely, and since I have a very difficult, the thing that I mentioned at the beginning, that I have a very difficult time picturing the short-term future or mid-term future. So I don't even know, like, I don't know what I would want to, like, I know what I want, but I don't know what it's attainable, right? That's the problem. I don't know what I will be able to attain. So, and I can't picture that. So I can't picture like the next best thing for an environment for myself. I don't know where I would want to live if I were to live on my own, but in realistic terms, right? So I don't even bother thinking about it, right? Maybe I should, but at the moment that's how it is. So sorry for telling it like that. Okay, this is the sum up. Not that bad at my parents' house. I obviously want more independence. But I don't have a sense of towardness to anything aside from this concept of more independence, right? I don't want to go anywhere in particular. So my mind feels cloudy in that sense. I don't know. I only like the sense of independence, aka being away from, does not make sense for me. It does not make sense as a pursuit, right? I don't want to pursue independence. It doesn't make sense, right? I would want to pursue actually something, right? A career that takes me somewhere, right? A relationship that takes me somewhere, right? A community that takes me somewhere. Those things I would be elated to pursue, but I don't have any of those. So I am feeling cloudy about the environment I live in right now, right? I am feeling acceptance towards it with a sense of, right? With a sense of meh. of knowing that it's bad, that I'm here still, but that I'm not going to do anything about it until I feel a sense of towardness towards anything. How do I feel about following my intuition recently? Not sure. General sense of cloudiness, right? I have a general sense of cloudiness towards anything external, also internal cloudiness. Yeah, so because of there's so much cloudiness, I don't. But it's the kind of cloudiness that I have put upon myself or something like this, right? I put upon myself by going within. So it feels like I have to go through it. I don't know. Let's say this. How do you feel about following your intuition recently? I don't know. I just wrote this. I have a general sense of cloudiness towards anything external, as I said before, as I have been saying, but also internal cloudiness. And it's not only also, right? It is that sense of internal cloudiness which clouds my vision outside, right? It is cloudiness within that gets in front of my vision, more or less. I would define it like that. But it's the kind of cloudiness that I have put upon myself by going within, right? This sense of cloudiness is caused by going within in the first place, right? If I had not gone within and I had gone outwards, I would have not been experiencing this much cloudiness probably. I would have postponed the feelings that are causing the cloudiness after when they arise, right? Which would be when I have a time for going within, but in the future probably, right? That is my way of seeing it right now. So I don't feel bad for going within, for having to go within, because I had to do it, right? That is the problem. What really makes me happy? Small things. Unknown. What really makes me happy? Right now, I guess it's the small things, right? Really small moments of happiness. Actually, I am feeling cloudy about this as well, right? A good food, having a different kind of food makes me happy, makes me excited about life and all this, right? The small things like that make me really happy. Well, not really happy, maybe happier than usual. But they always come with a cost, right? They always come with something attached to that I don't like as much, right? That is muddying the happiness, the feeling of happiness, I guess. Then something that I have to answer to this are either the unknown and like the known unknowns. For example, I don't know many things that would give happiness, romantic love, those kind of things. It's so sad to think about this, right? But I literally don't know what it feels like, right? It's insane to have reciprocated romantic love or something like that. I don't know how that feels like, but I assume that is something that makes you happy, right? So that is a known unknown. I know that is something that exists and that I don't know it. But I also assume that there are unknown unknowns, right? There are things that, I don't know, maybe tied to this kind of sense of cloudiness or whatever, right? That when you go within and you find more or less what you're about, and when you express yourself authentically, something like that, right? Something along those lines, I assume, may bring some sense of more happiness. Maybe, right? That's the problem, that because I don't know, and it's an unknown unknown, I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. Who really makes me happy? I don't know. Who really makes me happy? I don't know. The really is the difficult part. Who makes me happy in general? My friends, hanging out with friends, sometimes makes me happy, right? They do lighten up my day. They are joyful people. I find them, when they are talking about certain things, I find the conversations interesting. I find them interesting, blah, 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 right? These things, they bring joy to my life. When they are talking about other things, then they don't bring joy to my life, and the opposite, right? So, I don't know. That depends. My family. I don't know. It sometimes brings happiness, it sometimes doesn't, right? And it's not... Yeah, it's like that, right? It brings a lot of weight and sometimes it's more weight. I feel more the weight than any sense of happiness, like mega happiness, I would say. But yeah, I do feel some kind of the love or whatever, right? So in that sense, it does make me feel happy sometimes on all this. How is my health? How is my health? Physically acceptable, but there are certain things where I could improve. I mentioned this already in a recent video that I make. It's called Answering Karima's Questions or something like that. And yeah, I mentioned that physically I am more or less decent, but there are some things missed, like some things that worry me, like my jaw feeling sometimes strange, my back posture and all that in general, my lack of flexibility, for example. Those are the main things that bother me, I guess. Physically, well, mentally, probably pretty bad in that sense, right? I think by the cloudiness that I mentioned all the time in this video, you can sense that I'm not exactly in my brightest time. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. And if you're still here, Cuadro, thank you for being here. I'm also closing the stream. Goodbye. I'm going to upload the video so it starts processing or whatever, and then at night I will publish it probably. The status updates, no one watches them anyway, so they are mostly for me, I guess. But I think it's important that I publish them. Not sure why I think it's important that I publish them, to be honest, but I think this gains value, right? Right now, no one watches them, no one gives a fuck. But maybe someday, they will gain value for some reason. Someone will find the processes laid out here interesting, maybe. Or I will be able to find the processes laid out here more interesting. I don't know. Okay. End of May 2023 update. Previews status update. Late Feb 2024. Okay. So yeah, basically, goodbye Quadro if you're still here. If you're not, then not goodbye, I guess. And thank you for being here anyways. Bye-bye.